Woohoo.
Y'all ready for this?
Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And yes, horror fans, once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. As I'm trying to get this banner to play. It's
Do it live.
there it goes. It should be getting ready to go on the ticker right now. Yes, we are live. Oh, let me get this. Why is it not working?
Because Jen's on the fucking stream.
Oh.
That's why it's Jen. It's
that's right. Forgot to actually put the show. Okay. All right. So once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And of course, tonight we are going to be talking about everyone's, I guess, not favorite movie of the year, except for these lovely people here, The Crow 2024. Just a fair warning, if you don't look at the scroll going down there, we will definitely be spoiling the film. So if you have not seen The Crow 2024, stop the live stream, go watch it, and then come back and watch the replay.
You can't spoil those abs, though. You cannot spoil those abs.
okay. What's the runtime? 1 minute 36 seconds. You couldn't even just fucking hold us. 1 minute 36 seconds.
I think, well, no, bless their heart. I think that is a record. You know, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds longer.
Yeah,
than I
you
thought
know what?
she could
Oh,
do.
yeah.
It's lucky the stream didn't start with her going abs. Like fucking.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to say abs.
That's how she's going to sign off tonight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Probably.
instead of saying her usual things, she's going to say abs. Of course, to my right is my good friend. I call him the Irish Prince of Horror. It is Marty of the Trash Picture Show and Jennifer's true love, and Jen's true love.
Hopefully, Jesus, I don't know the way she goes on about this film. That might be in question now.
Just get some abs, Marty. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna be doing fucking crunches for the next 18 fucking years.
I gotta get these abs. I gotta get these abs.
I think I broke my spine.
Below me is my good friend and fellow, even though we haven't had a live stream in a while, fellow Deadly Venoms for our partner is Eric from Hey Internet, It's Eric.
Glad to be here, dude.
Of course, down at the bottom below Marty is the great and wonderful Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Grave.
I always want to be below Marty.
Abs.
Thank you, Monty, for putting me under my Irishman.
I'm gonna have to get a fucking shake weight or a fucking bike or some fucking shit. This is fucking indignant, man.
So, of course, we're talking about The Crow 2024. Now, obviously, when it was first announced that there was going to do a remake of The Crow based upon the graphic novel by, was that James O'Barr, if I got that name right, Marty? Yeah.
James O'Barr.
Everyone had a shit fest.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
Not everyone. I just like I said before, and I'll say it again. Movies, properties, IPs, graphic novels, they're all going to get remade. That's the nature of Hollywood. They don't have any originality, so they'll dust it off. They'll take a look at something that hasn't been happening in a while, and they'll dust it off and say, let's remake this one. I mean, come on, look what Disney's doing. I even said this in my review. All the remakes, the live action remakes they're making of their classic animated films, you know, whether it's Snow White, and now when we talk about that horrible, the horrible preview, it's like, what would they think of casting Rachel Zell? Oh man, did you? I don't even, not to go off pocket, but do you see how terrible she looks in that getup?
She just seems she does not want to do this fucking movie. She's trying to sabotage herself in the film at every fucking turn.
Yeah. She looks fine. It's the dwarves that don't. That's the
Oh
problem.
yeah.
I feel bad because like they're like statutorily kind of challenged actors are now fucking missing out. I am not. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this age of enlightenment we have. It's good. It's good in a lot of ways. It's given people a chance to fucking achieve roles and stuff. but Jesus Christ, and Peter Dinklage as well. I don't think any one person should be the speaker of an entire fucking minority or
No.
community.
I don't think he was trying to be the speaker. He was just giving his opinion, and they're just like, "Hey, that guy's in Game of Thrones. You know, people love him. Let's do what he says." That's all it was.
I know that's Disney unfortunately panicking, thinking that, oh no, Peter Dinklage is going to ruin what could be a moneymaker. So let's go on ahead and not have actual little people in the film. Let's create CGI characters, and obviously they look terrible. But anyway, not to get off topic. Yeah, but so when was announced that the remake, everyone was skitzing, it was going off. I think it started back in 2008, and a whole bunch of directors and actors was supposed to be be in the film. I think
Mark Wahlberg was one of them.
Mark Wahlberg was one.
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa was another. I can't remember anybody else, but I remember those two were supposed to be playing, and all of a sudden, you got Bill Skarsgård was now cast to play Eric. Now we don't have a last name. He's not Eric Draven in the film. He's just Eric. In the film. And so we eventually come up. It gets released. It gets trashed by the critics. Has a very low Rotten Tomato score, and unfortunately, almost every YouTuber and movie critic trashed the film. They said it was terrible. Was lifeless, soulless. Doesn't even compare to the 1994 film, which I think is a mistake. But we'll start with Marty. What was your overall general opinion of The Crow 2024?
Okay, I'm going to go in with my hands held up. I was not expecting much. I remember I done a quick kind of video, and myself and Eric had discussed it. I went in for very low expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised. Now, I'm not going to say it was a flawless or perfect movie. It wasn't. There's a fucking lot of issues with this movie, but there's a solid piece of fucking story here. There's a solid fucking cast for the most part, and there's some very kind of beautiful imagery and great moments in this movie. Again, it's not setting the world on fire. And I swear to God, if I hear someone going, well, it's not the 1994 version, it's not going to be the 1990. That was 30 fucking years ago. You're not going to have the aesthetic. You're not going to have the same. The music is different. The aesthetic is different. The social dynamics of fucking people, Shelley and Eric's age is different. It is a totally different animal. And that's the other thing I appreciated. It's not trying to be a straight remake. It does its own fucking thing. Again, there are issues with it. I have some issues with the pacing. I have some issues with the villains, and I have a big issue with the ending. But by and large, it is not some fucking train wreck that everyone is making it out to be.
Yeah, because we have Marty and I and Jim were talking about it, and then just like I said, I don't know if you know about this, Eric, but I've seen almost every YouTuber and critics videos on this particular film, and I mean, absolutely nobody loved it. I mean, everyone trashed it. I mean, I think some people were a little bit vicious. They actually, one person actually said that the relationship between Eric and Shelley was nothing more than two junkies fucking, and that's basically
See, the thing is, this I hate to say, this movie didn't have a chance before it even hit theaters. And my opinion, I didn't mean to jump ahead of you, Jen, but
no, it's okay.
How do I say it? You know, The Crow is my favorite movie of all time, the original one. It's far from fucking perfect, okay? It's very dated. Exactly. A lot of the effects don't work. But here's the thing. I think a lot of people are more attached to the fact that someone died making that film than the fact that, you know, it exists. Because look what a lot, I'm not saying everyone, look what a lot of the negativity is saying. All they're doing is bringing up Brandon Lee's legacy. It's crapping on Brandon. It's doing this. They're not bringing up why the original is so much better. They're just bringing up the tragedy that happened. And a lot of people, you can tell, aren't really Crow fans. I've told Marty before, a lot of it is probably people that just saw a cool shirt in Hot Topic and grew attached to it. You know what I mean? I'm serious, because a lot of people are saying he died making the movie. Yes, he did. A lot of people are saying he died for the movie. No. He wasn't murdered like some people saying. It was a tragic accident and nothing more. Now, this new one, again, I'm glad it's different because that's what a remake or a reboot or whatever you want to say is supposed to be. Have some nods to the original, but be its own entity. Because why would you want to go see the same
movie again?
Yeah, because you know all the hits, you know all the beats, and that's what's boring.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
exactly.
Bill Scott. Now, don't get me wrong. When those pictures hit the internet and Eric looked like a crackhead, I understand. It's jarring, it's shocking, but you know what? Whatever.
I think you all were threatened by the beauty that is Bill Skarsgård. I think all of you were threatened.
Those abs.
No, just me. Just fucking me.
Brandon Lee, we saw him. We saw Brandon Lee shirtless. He did not have those abs. You know, you got to admit that there's your improvement that Jen wants everyone to know. Okay? But the thing is, I liked how we had more of the love story.
Yes.
You know, if we could get attached to these characters more. The villains fucking sucked. You know what I mean? They're not as memorable as the original. But you know what? I went to this at like 4:15 in the afternoon. I paid $7. I didn't waste my time. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. Everyone's talking about Brandon Lee's legacy, and this is what pisses me off a lot, is James O'Barr, you know, what have you done in the past 20 years? iRobot, that's it. And he's talking again, he's talking about Brandon Lee's legacy. Well, fucker, maybe, you know, he wouldn't have a legacy and he'd still be alive if your working conditions were a lot safer. Okay, so why are you taking pride in the fact that something's failing? And if you're in the business, you should not want something in that business to fail, because not just the writers and the directors fail, you know, everyone behind the scenes, the actors, you know, they're all seeing this too. And that just makes you come off as a douchebag.
Time Lord, I gotta disagree, man. I don't think it would have been as kind of had as much reverence had he not fucking died. I'm sorry. I'm just. So. It would have had a cult status. It would have been popular, but it would not have been. It wouldn't have had the almost fucking religious kind of following it does now.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I've always
I kind of agree with that, Marty. Yeah, it would have definitely launched his career, and he definitely would have been one of the top action stars in the 90s.
He was on the verge of stardom. I mean, this would have just pushed him over the top if he had, made it.
But like I said, it's a far from perfect movie, and people, I think, because they're so attached to the tragedy that happened, it shouldn't be overlooked, that they're not seeing the imperfections of the movie. You know what I mean? Exactly. It is very dated with the music. You know what I mean? Some of the special effects aren't the best. When he gets shot in the hand, he puts his hand in front of his hand or in front of his face. That looks like garbage. You know what I mean? And that's coming from me. And that's my favorite movie of all time. And I could see its faults too.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely going to talk about the relationship between Eric and Shelley in this particular movie. Let's see, Mystic Mac. I feel the same way about The Dark Knight as well with Heath Ledger.
I can understand that.
I don't know, and not to get off topic again with Heath Ledger. I think his career would have skyrocketed after his performance of Joker, which was one of the best Joker performances I've seen, other than Jack Nicholson's performance, and obviously Mark Hamill's performance of the Joker in the animated series. But it's kind of interesting when you actually see these people who have died and had great performances, whether or not what happened, whether their careers would go if they haven't passed away.
I guess that happens with any kind of movie like that.
The Massacre.
Hey, Movie Massacre.
Hey, Movie Massacre.
Yeah, I had many comments about this. Some say it's ruined Brandon's legacy. The OG. No, it's not.
Well, here's the thing too. You know, me and Movie Massacre have talked about this offline before. You know, you're worried about ruining Brandon's legacy. Have you not seen the 3 fucking sequels we already got? Edward Furlong.
Again, I'm laughing at people going, "This is the worst fucking Crow movie yet." Motherfucker, Eric Forland looked like a fucking
and people are just using the excuse because it's Eric, so they're gonna let Edward Furlong slide. No, he was a shitty fucking crow. Okay.
Yeah, and I love Eric. I like Furlong. I do, but he was, he was cracked out. I mean, he was having some drug issues at the time, and you can tell. I think when he's sober, he's a great actor, but that
wasn't method acting in that movie.
No, and not just that. Even City of Angels. Vincent Perez suck this The Crow. You know what I mean? Because he didn't know what he was doing. Is he supposed to be dark and brooding, or is he going to be like, you know, a clown when that one scene where he's doing, you know, the pick a card type of thing? You know what I mean? You know, it's just The Crow is not the end all be all of movies. And this remake is far from the worst entry in the franchise.
And it's good to hear. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because I have not seen any of the sequels nor the TV show, so I cannot comment on that other than what I've heard as far as you know, Vincent Perez was not great. Edward Furlong was terrible. I did hear some couple good things when it comes to the TV show, but I never saw that one. Hey,
TV show was solid. I'm not going to lie. The TV show was a good direction to take it in.
And why does that get a pass? Because that's Eric Draven. Why is that one not crapping on Brandon's legacy? See,
not very many people know of it. Not very many people know of it.
You're probably right. But see, the thing is, you know, people can't pick what they want to hate this remake about and let certain things slide. That's what I don't get.
They're hating it for the sake of hating it, I think.
Yeah.
I think of all the reviews I've seen, like I said before, some people actually have legitimate gripe about the movie. Some of the things that they didn't like, I didn't like about particular film. Some of the things they were saying, making too many comparisons between the 94 film, and I'm saying, no, that's a mistake. You should not mention the 94 film at all. You should just simply just base the movie on the merits, whether it's good, whether it's bad, what you didn't like, what you liked, what you didn't like about the film, and just stick it that way and stop comparing it to the 94 film or even mention Brandon Lee's name. Okay. Now, Jen, you obviously love the film because you love the relationship between Eric and Shelley. Was there anything else in the film that you liked other than that relationship?
I love that, the love story. I was here for the love story, and I will agree, just to show that I am trying to be fair. I will agree. I don't think the villains sucked, but they weren't near as good as what we had in the original Crow. I mean, you can't hold a candle to those villains and stuff. Sure. I think Danny Huston did the best with what he could, but there just wasn't a lot to bring to that. And I wasn't here for them anyway. I was here for Shelley and Eric, and I think Bill Skarsgård performance. And this isn't even me having a crush on the guy. I think he gave a fucking brilliant performance.
Yeah, he did.
We went and saw this last night again at the theater because they were doing a cheap night. And I literally, like, guys, and I know this is probably weird for y'all to hear, I was bawling. I was bawling at the end of it because there's just, to me, there's so much poetry in some of the dialogue. Like some of the lines I just thought was fucking beautiful. And I understand it's not a perfect film. I'm not saying it's a perfect film, but it's a very special film to me. And see, I kind of come like, I never got what everyone got with the original Crow, and no hate to people who love it. It just never did it for me. So I guess I was a perfect demographic because, like, this is what works. This is all my problems with the original Crow. It fixes a lot of them for me and stuff. And again, guys, why do y'all, because like we've talked about earlier, if you want it to be copy and paste, repeat, why? They already did it perfectly once, and they're not going to take the original Crow and put it in a fire and burn it. So why can't there be room for both? You know what? If it's, I don't get like this instant hate. Like they're not going to take away the original Crow from you guys. You know what I mean? I don't get that.
That's what I've always said. I've always said remake everything because the original isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the worst that could happen? You waste 2 fucking hours on a shitty movie. Big deal.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know for a fact in the horror community alone, we've watched a lot worse. Okay.
Me and Monty were talking about that. This year alone, there's been fucking God. Yeah.
Oh yes. Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
The Strangers Chapter 1, The Exorcism, Night Swim, Imaginary. Oh man. There's another movie I think I just saw that I only gave one star, one golden bloody gold coin. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, but yeah, this as far to me, as bad as I really wanted to like the film, I didn't enjoy it, but it's not the worst film I saw so far this year.
Yeah,
like in comparison to some of the other fucking stuff that's come out this year, it's fucking Lawrence of Arabia. Let's be fucking honest, because there's some shit that come out.
I want to ask you guys something because it's always women. How did you all feel about the love story? Because I know that's more of a chick territory thing, but how did you all feel about the love story?
I'll say that last. because there's some issues I have with that particular love story, but I'll talk about that later. What do you think, Marty? What do you thought about the love story?
Well, again, I discussed this with Jen, and I think I discussed it with you, Eric. It was a lot better fleshed out. Again, there was something endearing about the flashbacks, and they do that in comics. In the original Bar comics, it's told via flashbacks, but this had a lot more weight and a lot more gravitas towards it, and you got to see the connection between these two. Was it kind of like a quick kind of love affair fling? Maybe it was, but like no one bitches about fucking Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor only spending a fucking night together. No one bitches about Jack and Rose spending a night together. By the way, the Titanic is merely a remake of Terminator. I stand by that till the day I fucking die. But the fact remains, it was a lot more fucking solid than what people are making out. It was. You genuinely felt the tenderness and connection between these two. That you didn't feel in the prior movies. And I think that's something a lot of people are overlooking.
I agree.
I liked it. Here's the thing. I thought it was, I liked how we got it more fleshed out because it could have been good or bad. You know what I mean? And I know certain people think they didn't have chemistry. We'll leave it at that until he says his piece. But but I thought these two actors, F.K. Twigs and Bill Skarsgård, Mr. Abs, I think they did really well together. And I think you can actually see that in a lot of these promotional videos all over YouTube. They look like they're best friends, or like they're having their own little fling because they're so cute together. And that's what I liked about this. Wasn't like, fucking Romeo and Juliet, like they were fawning over each other every fucking day or every minute of every day. But a lot of it, I thought the buildup was cute. You know what I mean? He's having a rough day in his room, and he just looks at her, and when she's getting the walkthrough, and she just gives him a look, and she doesn't, think anything about it. She just looks, okay, there's a dude in the room, and then walks by. But then I like how she initiates it because she can tell that he's not going to talk to anybody. So she sits down at the table. I really love the scene where they're watching the movie, and he's staring at her, and she knows he's creeping on her. She just sticks her tongue out. It's a cute thing, and then goes back to watching the film. So it's a cute little build-up, and I think they had pretty darn good chemistry, in my opinion.
I agree.
You could tell that they really cared for each other. Like I said, is it highly romantic? No. But it's not like, Marty said with one of these people, said it's just two, meth heads fucking. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Than that.
I do too. Agree.
Well, unfortunately, you're not going to like what I have to say.
Say it,
That's cool. I mean,
this is your fucking stream. You're allowed an opinion.
Yeah, no, and because I even said it in my review, if you're going to change the aspect of this film and make it a love story between Eric and Shelley, then the two leads have to have chemistry. And I'm glad that y'all guys see it because unfortunately I did not. and it's, to me, it's more one, and I'll talk about her later, FKA Twigs, and the dialogue that they had them saying in the particular film. I felt as though that was not very well written, and unfortunately was really not acted between the two. I just did not see or buy the chemistry between Shelley and Eric in this particular film. So if I don't buy it, so then again, I don't get when there's scenes when he eventually died, then I don't buy that, and then that's what kind of halfway ruined the film. There are other aspects of the film that ruined it, but that's the main aspect, is that I really wanted to buy their relationship and their love, but unfortunately, I just couldn't buy it.
I get you. That's fair.
And that's fair, but the thing is, coming from you, Monty, we all know that you give things a fair shot. And we know that you're being legit.
You're not dismissing it off the bat.
When you say something doesn't fit or work well with you, we know you're not saying it just for clicks. So there's a difference.
Oh yeah, I got to be honest. That's what I do YouTube for, just to be honest.
What would be the point? But a lot of people, and it seems like every feed, there's been a couple of people who have been a little bit more, I think, were fair and honest, but a lot of them, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you guys, this is not the worst. It really pisses, because, and again, I'm a little biased because this film really touched me, but I was getting a little sick of seeing in my feed thing after thing, worst movie of the year, total trash fire, which we know something about trash fires, darling.
We watched a movie where puppets fucked. We know a thing or two about terrible movies, okay?
Well, that turned out to be a good one, but I see what you're doing.
Put that, when the Crow comes to Blu-ray, put that on the front. We know Trash Fire. We've seen puppets fuck. This isn't that bad. The Trash Picture Show.
We should copyright that, darling.
Get that on a t-shirt.
Yep, he's now with his lucky gold points. All I say is Firestarter remake. Oh yeah.
Oh fuck that movie. I fucking hated Firestarter. Oh my god, did I fucking
Jen, focus on Skarsgård's abs. Focus on the abs. Focus on the abs.
No, I want to hear a rant.
Focus on the abs.
I love it when Jan rants. I love it.
You had to get it going, didn't you?
Fucking hated that Firestarter rule bullshit. He fucking adopts her, Marty. He fucked Rainbird fucking adopts her at the end. What the fuck?
Think of Skarsgård's abs covered in water, okay?
Oh man,
that's better.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Now another aspect of this film that a lot of people were saying is not actually Bill Skarsgård's performance, but they say we have Eric, and then we actually have the Crow. Because when he first dies and he goes into this limbo type world, and then he comes back, but he doesn't know what to do. Then he dies again. Then all of a sudden he comes back with his tattoos, and that's when he's the Crow. And a lot of people didn't like that aspect. What was your thoughts about that, Eric?
I totally understand that. I liked the fact that Eric didn't know how to fight to save his life. He was constantly getting the shit kicked out of him. And that, to me, as someone who also doesn't know how to fight to save his life, makes it more realistic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As realistic as we can be in a movie like The Crow. Mm-hmm. But when he finally, gives his soul to, I don't know, his spiritual advisor or whatever we're calling that character. I don't know if he even had a name.
And this is another... Yeah, he's Kronos in the credits, but no one calls him that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that happens. When he finally, he gives up his soul to allow Shelley to be brought back, and then he's suddenly super Eric. You know what I mean?
He commits to it. That's when, again, I think I didn't mean to cut you off, but this is like kind of really, you look at it, it's about relationships and like the fear of commitment, and this is where he's all in and stuff when her thing is on the line. And you asked me what I loved about this movie. I love when he's talking to Danny Houston at the end, and he's like, "Do you know the hell that awaits you?" And Bill Skarsgård goes, "I do." And that just hit me because it's like, exactly what's coming, and yet you're doing it for this person you love. I mean, that just hits me. I fucking love that.
I mean, I didn't necessarily mind the fact that he turned into, super ninja with a sword. My problem was that he started to enjoy it a little too much. And again, you're killing all the people that killed you and your love. I get that. But when he's carrying around a decapitated head, he decapitates the blonde, and then just for the hell of it, he goes on stage and then throws his crowd.
I love that.
I didn't get it from his character point of view. Why did he have to freak out everybody in the audience? That was going a little too far. Kill the people that are involved and responsible, and then move on to Danny Houston. So I think the tone of his character after he became Super Crow, you know what I mean, for lack of a better term, was a little
You're killing me, Simon.
That makes sense. You know what I mean?
I like the fact, Eric, he almost drowned in his thirst for vengeance. That's what that was. He's like, right, to take these fuckers out, I got to turn into a monster. And he started to embrace it too much. And that's what I liked. One other thing, as you pointed out, and as Jen pointed out, I like the fact he came, when he came back to life the first time, like, unlike Brandon Lee, he wasn't fucking John Wick from the fucking bounce. I mean, he went in to confront your guy in the car and he got deafened by the concussion fucking blast of the gun. He's not automatically the superhuman fucking badass.
Right.
He's like, he gets killed, he comes back, he gets killed. He's like a character. You know when you're playing a fucking video game and you keep on getting killed and you just have to get better?
Getting respawned.
He's fucking Dark Souls. He has to Dark Souls that shit. And that's what I loved about that. I like the fact that he was like, okay, well, look, that didn't fucking work, so I'm going to have to try this approach. And I liked that. And I get what you're saying as well. It did go a bit too fucking literally operatic in that fucking kill scene. but I did like the fact they should have gone with that though. They should have gone with the fact that the vengeance was fucking swallowing him up. The weapon he wielded was the thing that might have actually fucking damned him even more. I wish they'd gone in more with that. That's my criticism on that.
Yeah, because he was a very sloppy fighter. The first time we see him after he comes back, he gets knifed a couple times. Remember, he's got to put he literally got to put his intestines back into his own belly. And then the second time in the car, he got lucky with some of that, and he still gets thrown out and hit by a fucking semi. And then he's got that compound fracture on the leg that made me groan. But it was just like he wasn't this like Brandon Lee. He was trying to hide his martial arts skills because he didn't want to be like his dad. But he was still a good action star, you know, and he was still kicking ass from the get-go. You know what I mean? He was invincible when he was fighting Tintin. When the guy's throwing knives at him, he's batting him away. Bill Skarsgård would have taken that knife in the forehead and have to be respawned. You know what I mean? And that's what I liked because, again, whether they say his name is Draven or not, I don't care. Okay? This is not the same Eric Draven, and they proved that without how much, you know, he's a tortured soul. His mom's an alcoholic. He's picked on and beaten up by everybody in the rehab center. You know what I mean? This is not some romantic tough guy that we have seen 30
He's very relatable.
Ago.
He's like, you know, he's a different flavor.
Yeah,
because
I really didn't mind that aspect of the film. I actually thought it was a better approach. As I said, oh no, the last thing we need is another guy that all of a sudden he's just kung fu master. It's like no,
like even when he was entering the op, yes, he does fucking kick ass, but there's a lot of sloppy fighting. I mean, he has to fucking stab himself in order to kill one cunt, and he is a lot more proficient than he was, but there's still that fucking sloppy, like that
it's bit. A learning curve.
That bit where he fucking shoves the
katana. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, when he took the nail and shoved it right into his shoulder. I said, oh no, that's cool. I like that.
Or when he curb stomps the dude's head that's on the stairs and you see his neck just go like that.
Like I said, ooh, that hurt. I felt it.
And I loved the head scene. I did. I loved it when the lights were shining. It's very dramatic, but I loved it. And then I loved right afterwards because of the lilies. And I know some people are thinking, Jesus Christ, is that a little too on the nose? But I loved it. I loved that he got lilies and put it there for her.
My only real criticism is those poor guys are just random security dudes. He's like, oh, I got this gig to get my fucking daughter chemotherapy. Yeah, cool. And this fucking goth comes in and fucking murders them all. It's like, shit.
All right, so the person who is getting all the flack for the reason why this movie is bad is, of course, FKA Twigs. Now, I have never heard her sing before. I don't know her music.
Me neither.
I don't know anything about her. I see that she had a few acting credits before, but this is her first major role. And I'm going to compare her to Shalika in Trap. And unfortunately for both of them, for me, they need to stick to singing because to me, I just did not buy her performance at all. Just like with Shalika, she was good when she was singing. And then, unfortunately, for some reason, Shanahan decided to make her the focal point of Trap. And that's where the movie starts to... It's bad enough that we get the illogical happening throughout that third act. Eric, did you see Trap yet?
No, I have not. I usually wait for streaming when it comes to M. Night just to be on the safe side.
This one, you did the right thing.
You did the right thing. And like I said, the only good thing about that is Josh Hartnett, but that's about it.
Yeah.
My God, Monty, that's the biggest fucking example of nepotism at its fucking worst. Yes. He's like, I'm going to put my daughter in a movie. Can she act? I don't fucking care. I'll put my daughter in the movie.
It shows he's a good dad. Like, I don't hate him because any parent would do whatever they could for their kid. But I agree with Monty with Shyamalan. Like, she was good with singing, but she couldn't. I don't think it's that bad. And I'm not being a dick to you, Monty, but I don't think it's that bad with The Crow. She's not great. And Sparky, who watched the film with me last night, they had a big problem with her acting too. She wasn't as good as Skarsgård, but I thought she was serviceable. And in some places, I bought it. I really did.
Let's see. Mr. Max says, F.A. is one of those abuse victims of Shia LaBeouf is how I know she was already sadly before The Crow or anything. Was she with Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah. I think he stranded her at one stage.
Yeah.
Or attempted to strand her.
Yeah, man, that's terrible. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of a lot of people were saying that the fact that she was terrible in the film, and to me, I think it's a combination of her lack of experience in acting and the script did not allow actually prevented him and Skarsgård to do anything with their roles. That's another problem, like I had in the film, that neither one of them had any depth in this film. It's like the script doesn't allow them to do anything other than what they're doing on the film. And I was like, they should be at least be able to do something more than what we're seeing on the film. But I blame that more on the script and her lack of experience in acting. But Eric, what do you thought about FKA Twigs?
The fact this is my first, I had never even heard of the girl. I had no knowledge of her. And so I'm going into this thinking it's her first movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So as me being introduced to her, was she perfect? Far from it. But again, I bought her chemistry with Bill, and I think, Bill is such a good actor. He's also one of those people that can help
elevate.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. He can help someone who's not as skilled and just, bring that extra bit out of them. Because Bill's amazing in anything, whether it's something like this or as Pennywise or anything else, like even Barbarian. He's completely different in Barbarian. He's like the nicest guy in the fucking world, but he's still helping elevate everyone he's on screen with. And I think he was able to bring a little bit out of Twigs.
I agree.
But then again, I have nothing to compare her to previously.
Mm-hmm.
And his abs brought a lot to helping her too, because she got to rub her hands on across his abs. Did you see those abs, guys?
No, Marty, didn't she look good in that thong?
She did.
No point. It's fucking, it doesn't matter.
Marty, I still love you.
I love Marty too.
No, but obviously not as much as the fucking abs now, do it.
Monty switches around, put me under Marty now. But at least have someone underneath her that appreciates.
No.
Oh boy. So Marty, what you thought about FKA Twigs?
Well, like Jen was saying, I think Skarsgård and his relatively normal frame was like it helped. No, he did. His performance elevator. I didn't think she was terrible. I don't think she was terrible. I think she was a shite sight better than fucking Shyamalana Ding Dong's fucking daughter in that movie. I like Eric put it perfectly. There was some cute moments between them that solidified it, like where she comes over and Eric's obviously having a fucking shitty day and she's like, what's the worst kind of tea to drink? Reality. And it's a shitty joke, but it's really fucking cute.
I guarantee you
that I did actually like that line. I thought that was a pretty good line.
Marty, you're married, I'm married, and you got these two knuckleheads here. We have all used those stupid lines with our significant other. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it cute too. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know, we don't know her, her relationship history. We know Eric's probably is in the toilet, but she's trying to make his day. She's trying to at least get a smirk out of him. And that's what I appreciated with that line.
If a cute girl comes up to you at that fucking age and is trying to fucking cheer you up with a shitty joke, you marry that fucking woman. Okay, that's
let's see, Missing. I really enjoyed Bill Skarsgård's portrayal as Pennywise. Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame though they covered up that face with all that damn makeup.
Insignificant, so it was.
Oh, okay. And now we get to talk about those great villains. Ooh, those terrible, nasty villains.
This is where even I can't say too much. Even I don't hate Danny Houston, but I don't think
I don't hate Danny Houston, but it seems like he's getting typecast in some of the roles that he's in. It's like he's becoming this one-dimensional villain that filmmakers or casting directors if we want a standard villain, let's cast Danny Houston in this particular role, because outside of 30 Days of Nights, and I can't think of another film he's been in, it's like he's just one-note villain, and that's it.
He's decent. He's in a couple seasons of American Horror Story where he's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, because I remember he was in America. Yeah, that episode he did with Jessica Tandy, or not Jessica Tandy, Jessica Lange.
Yeah,
and he's good in he's good in Yellowstone. I liked him in Yellowstone as the
I haven't watched Yellowstone yet, but it seemed like what was this guy's motivation?
I'm going to go to bat for this dude because I discussed this with Jen during the movie. I think there's a lot of backstory cut out, and I think this character was maybe a Nazi. I think the character may have been a Nazi who was involved in the occult, because there's a number of things, like Jen pointed out. He likes German opera. The blonde assist, all his fucking inner circle, literally, he has a fucking inner circle, are all these blonde Aryan looking fuckers. And the other thing is, when Eric is talking to the blonde chick, she goes, "You hate, but he hates everyone, and it's everyone who's not like him." And it's like, yeah, this fucking dude, this dude was probably a Gestapo agent or some fucking Wehrmacht dude who made a pact with some fucking demon. That's what, and I think maybe that was cut out. I do think that was cut out. And if that had been left in, I guarantee you would have had a bit more of a fucking edge and a bit more of a personality to work with this character. That's just my opinion. That's what I got from it. Maybe I'm clutching at straws here, but I felt that was what they were going for.
Yeah, because at first when he does his whisper thing, I said, "Ooh, this might be interesting." Because that caught my interest because it's something a little different than Top Dollar, because I was expecting the villains because the one thing I was hoping that the villains would be interesting. So when I saw that, I said, "Ooh, this is going to be interesting." But again, the writers don't do anything with his character at all. He comes up this.
That's the problem, because the characters in the original are so memorable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every single one has their own personality. I like Danny Houston, but in my opinion, they don't really give him much to do.
Yep.
I've only seen it the one time, and all I was able to gather from him is, yes, and I have no problem with him like selling his soul to live, immortally, and he's got to send all that supernatural shit, because people are also complaining about that. Motherfucker, the guy comes back from the dead to kill the bad guys, and you're complaining about this type of supernatural. It's already a supernatural film.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think they don't give Danny that much to do other than the whisper scene. And then lots of times he's just kind of sitting there. The only time he ever really, in my opinion, does something is in the final confrontation with Eric. And that is so short. And it's just kind of disappointing. I think I agree with you, Marty. If we had a little bit more backstory, I want to know, who did he sell his soul to? Was it the devil? Was it another demon, or what have you? I mean, you could be super creative. You know what I mean? It's a movie. You can write whatever you want. And I wish there was just a little bit more of him kind of pulling the strings. Like, I love the scene when he's with FK Twigs' mom. That shows how menacing he can be.
I like that scene. That's when he was menacing.
Because he's actually doing something, and you believe that he's going. You're just waiting for her to be taken out. And then when he's slowly walking down the street, we're going to see a body come out of the window. You're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally, boom. And he doesn't even flinch. He keeps walking. Yeah. That's a great use of him.
Back.
Yeah, that's a great use of him. But the rest of it, he's just sitting there listening to music, whispering in people's ears. And I just wish there was more to show how menacing he could be, more examples.
Mm-hmm.
I'm adamant that there's a different cut of the movie, or a longer cut of the movie, that shows him having more of a backstory, because there's just something. I'm like, this dude is some kind of fucking Nazi villain, or he's some throwback to the Skin and the Wolves Crow comic. Again, I'll fucking send that book's praises till the cows come. But it's untethered potential. It's untethered. That's the sad thing about it.
Yeah. Even me, and I love this movie, but even me, I can't. The villains are one of its biggest problems, is because they're definitely not as memorable. Danny Houston isn't bad, but there's not a lot to say about him. There's some potential there, but we really missed the mark with him. And I really like the idea of him being an ex-Nazi, or maybe at one time being a Nazi. I think that's very interesting, and it kind of makes sense, because who else would sell theirs? And I mean, Hitler was interested in the occult, so it kind of all works together.
And he had so much, because we did get that one scene. Like I liked how Eric fucked up. You know what I mean? He saw what Shelley did, because he had the whisper in her ear type of thing. I wish we had more examples, at least seen on screen, other than what he did to Shelley, of how he can control people and make him do his bidding, murder people, etc. And just that one scene, to me, isn't enough to at least flesh out how dangerous this guy could be.
Yeah, because I was expecting when the video was revealed, I was expecting a little bit more than that. And when we saw that, I'm saying, that's it? I want a little bit more. Something a little bit more to prove or show how dangerous, what's his name, Vincent is. That's why I want to see a little bit more than that. And I thought that's what, again, this is, to me, it's more about how the writers failed to make this a very interesting movie. It's like, come on, guys. It's like, to me, I guess for some reason, when they wrote it down on paper, I guess it looked good, but it did not translate well when they put it to film.
Right.
All right, so obviously, I think we all can agree that we love that third act when the fight scene and the difference between the fight scene and the opera scene. I think we all agree, because I think that's one of the best aspects of the film, was the fight scene and the opera playing in the background.
Yeah, I loved how it was cut, because I'm a sucker for that whole it's a cliche, but I love my cliches. You know what I mean? I don't care when it's something brutal and disgusting, cut with something beautiful. Brutal and disgusting, beautiful. And it was just boom, boom, boom. We have this beautiful opera. I love the look, the body paint, the costumes. Okay, he just stabbed 2 or 3 guys. More singing, that's really beautiful. Okay, well, that guy just got curb stomped and his jaw was ripped off. And I thought the editing was really good. I know a lot of people think, again, I even saw it in the chat, someone said it was kind of sloppily edited. Well, I think this is one scene right here.
Yeah, they did a good job editing.
Yeah, that was fantastically edited.
The music, the visuals. That's the one thing I did like about the film, was the visuals. I thought the visualization of the love between Eric and Shelley was good. I like that, and I like the fact that they actually have a visual representation of Limbo. That what we didn't.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I like that too. Yes, and I wish we'd have seen a little bit more about that, but I like that aspect. So there are a couple of things of the film I did enjoy and I did like.
One thing I wish we had more. What was his again? I'm just calling him the spiritual guide. What was his name again? Rourke? Kronos. Okay.
Kronos. Yes.
What I really liked, I liked how he wasn't pussyfooting it around with Eric. I liked when Eric had that moment of doubt, about Shelley. He basically said, "No, you fucked up. Sorry, game over." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what he said.
He said, this will work if you have, pure love, And he had that one moment of doubt, and then he was just like, "Well, sorry, dude, you fucked up. You shouldn't have doubted your girl." And he didn't feel bad. He was like like a mentor. He's like, "Okay, sorry, you failed."
Yeah.
And again, I really like this guy. He was very subtle. He had, it might be the wrong term to use, but he had like this mystical feel about him. He's just standing there in a swamp, it looks like. But there's something about him that he had that added bit of mystery that was really, really cool. I wanted to know about this guy. Why is he stuck in limbo? What did he do? And then when we get to the end, we had that little bit of him as the paramedic, and it brought a smile to my face. I'm like, okay, he can leave limbo when it's necessary if something is done right. So there's I didn't like the Danny Houston mystery. I liked this guy's mystery, if that makes sense. Because the way it was real.
I liked when Eric came up to me. You an angel? Do I look like a fucking angel?
Yeah. He's got no filter. He doesn't care.
Or the other thing, Eric's like, look, whatever it takes. He goes, you do this, you're never going to be with her again. You can never come back from this again. And he's fair. He as you said, he doesn't fucking bullshit. He says, you're going to fuck yourself, but you'll save her. Right. Okay, we're doing this. And that was cool as well. I proposed something to Jen about this character.
You didn't propose. I would have said yes.
No. Here, for God's sake. I proposed an idea to Jen, and it sucks. The situation sucks. And Eric, you're probably going to be like, "Nah, man, this is a fucking shitty idea." What if you had gotten Brandon Lee's son in makeup as that character and had not had the character called Eric? Would that have been? Would there still have been fucking uproar over this movie if you had Eric as the mentor character?
Oh yeah. I think it would have been worse.
Yeah,
I think it would have been worse.
yeah. So do I. I agree. If they would have done that, I says, oh no, oh man, people are going to get pissed.
People are already saying they're taking a shit on Brandon's legacy. If you did that, they'd shit and piss on it. You know what I mean?
But if it was his kid,
you mean Brandon Lee's actual kid?
Yeah.
I didn't know he had. I didn't know he had children.
He's the son that looks. He's the son
I
that
didn't know
looks
him
the
and
fucking
Linda had.
spit on him.
I'm getting him confused with Bruce Lee's wife.
Yeah, because I knew he was a couple weeks away from being engaged. I didn't know he had any children. I think that would have been worse. I think that would have been a lot worse if we had his actual. Because, I think that's too close. Because Shannon Lee is already saying, it's garbage. And I don't know if Linda's still alive, but I'm sure she's just keeping quiet. Because she probably doesn't want any of the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been a lot worse. With the backlash.
Okay. I probably I fucking hated what they done with Ian Holmes' Visage and fucking Romulus. But I think if they had connected it to the original movie somehow and fucking not named the characters, this might have been an easier pill to swallow for fans.
Yeah, because like I said, most of the complaints were just like, oh, if you could have just named him something else. Well, we did that 3 times before, and it didn't work.
Yes, but they were shite movies. That's the fucking difference.
All it takes is a name change. Come on.
Yeah. No, like I said before, I didn't see any of the sequels. I didn't see Stairway to Heaven. What are the other? Is it 2
Stairway
or 3?
to Prayer. Yeah, City of Angels, and then there's Salvation, which I like. Then there's Wicked Prayer, which should be on Trash Fire Cinema. And then there is the TV show called Stairway to Heaven.
Okay, yeah. So out of the sequels, which is out of the 3 sequels, which is actually the worst or better than
Wicked Prayer? Wicked fucking Prayer.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I like Salvation. I really like Salvation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'll stand that one. Now, Wicked Prayer is awful. It's garbage. But there's a lot of garbage that we can watch and laugh at. We can enjoy how bad it is. Danny Trejo is not Native American, but he's a Native American who dances with a crow. That's fucking stupid. Okay,
not to cut you off. That's just as bad as casting Johnny Depp as Tonto.
You couldn't find a Native American, so
you couldn't find
a Mexican. It's the same
David
difference, right?
Boreanaz as Satan, Monty Angel as Satan.
Right. Like, and his last name is Crash, and then his girlfriend is Tara Reid, and she's Burn, so it's Crash and Burn. You got Dennis Hopper in the background. He's high on cocaine, off the set, and then they cut action. But here's the thing. I can laugh at Wicked Prayer because of how bad it is. Because some of these people are trying, and then there's Edward Furlong, who's probably hired for a sandwich and, a dime bag. City of Angels, for me, is a chore to get through. And that's the ultimate sin for a movie, is if it's boring and I don't give 2 shits. So that's what puts Wicked Prayer slightly above it, because I don't really enjoy City of Angels at all. I don't like Vincent Perez. Thomas Jane, we're not going to talk about that one scene in the Peep Show. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. Iggy Pop, one of the Power Rangers, all these people.
That's not Mary Jo. That's not Mary Jo, is it?
Say that again.
No, that's not. What's the girl's name?
Trini Tran, the Chewy Tran. That's who he fights.
Okay, that one. I thought you were talking about.
That was a cool scene.
I thought you were talking about Amy Jo.
No. But and the thing is, we have a supernatural villain in City of Angels, and he's just boring every time he's on the screen. So, as big as a piece of crap as Wicked Prayer is, I could at least laugh at it and enjoy it for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
City of Angels for me is a chore. So what we're going to do on Trash Fire Cinema is going to be compare and contrast City of Angels versus Wicked Prayer. And that's the episode Marty calls in sick for.
As I said to my father when he asked me to clean out the fucking cow shed filled with fucking shite, rev up and fuck off. Okay, no way, no how.
I have to watch those so I can just get a good laugh. Now, they actually said, Bill Skarsgård said this, that they actually reshot the ending because it was a possible sequel. Now, I don't know what the ending was supposed to be, but
One line. They added
line?
one line.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they added one line, yes.
Yeah, there's a scene where he basically, again, I don't know the actual quote, but he says basically, my soul is now at rest.
Mm-hmm.
They added him saying, for now. That's the only difference. So making it seem like, if it didn't bomb, there could be a sequel type of thing, but that's the only change.
There's a bigger chance of DB Cooper turning back fucking up than this movie getting a fucking sequel.
Yeah. I have my fingers. I don't have my legs crossed, but I have every other part of my body's crossed for hoping. I know it's never going to happen, but I hope.
Oh, trust me, it's not happening.
I know. Yeah, the movie sadly was doomed before it was even.
Yeah,
before the trailer was even released.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because like I said, when I saw the first whatchamacallit, I'm like, what the hell? Why does he look like? Why do you look like Jared? I mean, look like Jared Leto, like the Joker. I was like, oh man, what are they doing? And I say, you know what? All right, let's cut up the negativity. We'll just wait and give the movie a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the look either, but it made sense. He's obviously a meth addict, and I know some people that are addicted to that drug, and one of the things they do, they just get high and get random tattoos, especially on the face. It makes sense for that type of the character. So I get it. Didn't have to like it type of thing, but I got it.
But but if you're gonna look at anybody's face,
yeah. But the thing is, it was doomed from the start, and it's just too bad because I understand Brandon's family being against it. You cut them a break. I understand. Ernie Hudson says he's never going to watch it, but Ernie Hudson also said he's never watched the original. Because he's so connected. The only person that I honestly I would love to slap in the face is Alex Proyas, the director, because like I said, you're in the business, dude. And you're happy that something failed. And again, it's not just because they remade your movie. Look, he did iRobot, which was great for the time, 20 fucking years ago. Dark City, it did decent, but it's more of a cult following. Yeah. What else did you really do? You should be glad this movie's up because people know you're still alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I know
you exist.
Because I forgot he actually made iRobot.
Yeah, so did I. I had to Wikipedia the guy to see if he was still making movies since Dark City, and that was like 98.
Yeah, didn't something happen to him that's the reason why he hasn't made any movies since iRobot?
No, he did. He did a movie a handful of years ago, and it bombed. Was it Gods of
Egypt?
Gods of Egypt. Oh yeah.
God,
Oh man.
Eric's after reminding me that motherfucker made God Egypt, and he's fucking audacity to fucking shit on this thing.
I know, because someone said he's got the nerve to talk about this, and he's the one that did Gods of Egypt. Oh yeah, that you want to talk about a bad movie and the whitewashing. Yeah. I mean, it's bad enough with the whitewashing Shalahan did with The Last Airbender. Ooh boy.
I'm probably going to get fucking eaten by this, but I think a lot of the reviews as well, the negative, it's a bandwagon. It's people. This is the flavor of the month to dunk on this movie. So let's
YouTube clickbait, dude.
Yeah,
it's like, and here's the thing, because because not a lot of people other than you three, and then a couple other people like in our little circle. You know what I mean? Like our own personal circle have really talked about The Crow. You know what I mean? It's just us, and then maybe a few select others. But because, we've watched each other's videos, we get other Crow reviews in our feed. And it's just them making angry faces in the thumbnail. They're saying epic rant because they know it'll get clicks. And that's what it is. I
But
guarantee
that's not what we're doing, guys. Like, I mean, why do this if we're not actually gonna like? I don't ever want to be a dick to anybody, and I always try to like. But you got to be honest too. You got to be fucking honest, and that just drives me fucking crazy. And it's like, why are we? Why? And it seems like this movie just had it out for him. And I'm sure there's some people that legitimately had some really big beefs, but I don't think everyone did.
You can tell in the YouTuber's performance if it's genuine or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Monty, I believe when he says that he doesn't like certain aspects of it, he's not lying.
Yeah.
Marty, he wasn't 100% on this, and you believe it. We're not doing it for clicks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, some of these fucking videos are as long as the movie. Go outside, okay?
Touch the grass.
Exactly. You really need to rant about The Crow 2024 for 90 goddamn minutes?
Mine was only 40 minutes, Marty. Mine was only
trust me, as much as I ranted about the Strangers Chapter 1, I didn't take a 40-minute video to rant about how dumb.
But you see my point? You see my point? That's how you know it's clickbait. You cannot take any of these serious. And that's why I always tell people, okay, you love The Crow 94 so much. You don't want it to be remade. That's your God-given right. You can just say, I'm not interested in it. But you really don't know if it's going to suck or not until you pay your $7 to $15 to sit down and watch the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Exactly. Then if you hate it, say why. But at least be truthful behind the words. Don't just be, it's not like, angry video game nerd from like 20 years ago where every third word is, an F-bomb and this and that. No, you can still get your point across without ranting and raving for 90 minutes. And that's how a lot, when I'm watching certain people, because I've watched some of those videos just to see, I'm like, I can't take this guy seriously now, nor will I ever take any future video of his serious. And that won't make me want to watch your content. Going forward or seeing like your back catalog. I'm like, I know this guy's not legitimate. He's not being truthful, and I have no interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Any final last words from The Crow 2024?
I think people should just go in and and again, don't go in with expectations. Try to put the original out of your mind and just give it a fair shot. Just, you might not like it to my degree, but you might find you don't hate it as much as all these other assholes out there are going to tell you they're hating it. You know what I mean? Go in and make it up. And no hate. If you don't like it, it's okay. I mean, that's again, it just because I don't love a movie that Marty loves doesn't take away Marty's enjoyment. And the same thing. It's just we can have discussions because that's what this is doing. It's ruining. It seems like people have to be on the fence. Like you either have to love it or hate it. And like I like the discussions. This is why I like to talk with you guys and other people because it's discussions. And I like when Marty and I have difference of opinions because I think it leads to fascinating conversations. You just can't be a dick about it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why I created the stream. I really wanted Lisa to come along because she liked The Crow too, but she's busy with personal stuff right there. But yeah, that's the reason why I said, well, let's try to get a little positivity when it comes to The Crow because all I've seen in the past few days is suck, bad, worse, suck, bad, worse. I said, damn.
Yeah, in my opinion, like I said, even Marty and I have said it's perfect for a Saturday matinee.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Again, I paid $7, $4.15 in the afternoon. I got my money's worth. I sat there, I watched an entertaining movie for 2 hours, and again, like Jen says, I kind of miss civil conversation. It's always ranting and raving, and then what's the point? You know what I mean? If you hate the movie. It's your reason, you God-given right to hate the movie, but again, like Jen, you don't have to be an asshole,
Look, give this movie a chance. Don't look at other reviewers because a lot of these people are just fucking. They've their mind made up before they see the movie.
Well, sorry, Marty. It's just it reminded me. It's like I had an incident on my channel. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Where the one person was literally looking for negative reviews without even watching.
Oh
I
yeah.
had somebody because I was giving positive talk on my video. He thought I was being sponsored by the movie because
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
'cause I remember
about it.
You're a shill.
But the thing is, how can I be sponsored by the movie if I literally said Danny Houston fucking sucked? You know what I mean? But there are those people out there, and even Marty had some conversations with the guy. I'm just like, dude, you know, if no, I'm not being sponsored. I wouldn't want to be sponsored, because then I would be having fun and being truthful.
Everything I said to this dude, he was like trying to go, actually, well, this and this, and dude, you've your mind made up. You've your fucking mind made up.
Look, yeah, because I remember seeing that. I was like, what in the world is he talking about? That makes no sense. And he's like, wait a minute. He just said that Danny Houston sucked in the film.
Yeah.
I heard you say it's not perfect by far. I mean, that's not being sponsored.
Yeah. It's like it's a solid watch. It's a love story with an average guy with an average physique, you know, trying to rescue his loved one. No, it's a good time. It's a good time. Like to watch, you know. It's not gonna fucking reinvent the wheel, but it's fun. There's cool action scenes, and you get behind the two leads, regardless of how you feel about their quality of acting. That's my 2 cents on it.
And what I take away from it is that this movie, and I know I'm probably like the only person that'll say this, it really touched me. For me, it is beautiful. It is a beautiful love story. That line of, if you leave me, I'll die. If I left you, I'd already be dead. I mean, that just is imprinted in my head. And I just think that is one of the most beautiful pieces of dialogue I've ever heard. And I was literally weeping, guys. I was fucking ugly crying in the theater. And Sparky was like just looking at me like, are you fucking for real? Yes.
But see, I like that. Don't be embarrassed about it, because it's good to see that someone was touched by this film.
No, yeah,
despite all the negativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's good to see, because again, it's other than, you know, and this isn't I'm picking on you, Monty, because you've said some positive things too, but it really is pretty much nothing but negative. To see that something like this that is being shit on by the majority touched you in that way, you know,
me or not people.
Yeah, touched you in that way. I mean, that's cool to see, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
All right. Want to thank everybody for coming along and bring some positivity to The Crow 2024, because this movie was being shit on by almost everybody. Of course, when I do my live streams, I'm pretty sure Jen and Marty know about this. Eric, I give you a chance to shrill on what's coming up on. Hey, Internet, Eric's here. What's coming up on your channel?
Just today, I dropped my thoughts on Alien Covenant. Like I said, it's a movie, but it's not as bad as I think everyone says. By this weekend, I will have a video up on the Hammer film Brides of Dracula, which is a follow-up to Horror of Dracula. Pretty decent. And then everything else is just going to be whatever I decide to feel like talking about. However, this coming Friday the 13th is me and Alex are reuniting. It's going to be around 9:30 Central Time, and God help us, we are trying to sit down and discuss the entire timeline legit of the Friday the 13th franchise, and we're going to need all the help we can get.
Even Roy Burns?
Yes, Roy will be part of
it. Yay! You love Roy Burns, Marty.
That character doesn't make any sense. How does he have the prep time? How the fuck does he have the prep time?
If they just at least he doesn't have those 8-minute abs, Marty. Give him credit. He's likable that way. So, but yeah, if you drop by,
I was waiting for her to say that.
Yeah.
Jen, what's coming up on Jen's Reviews of the Graves?
Well, I have to make a video. I made one, but I wasn't happy with it. So I'm going to remake a video for our good friend Sean Patrick Urshan for something that he's working on. And then after I get that done, there's quite a few. I've been a little bit missing in action, and I apologize, guys, but life's been a little crazy. But there's Blink Twice I want to talk about. I want to talk about Stream. There's a lot of movies. Cuckoo I really want to talk about. So those movies will be coming out here pretty soon. Hopefully things will kind of calm down, and I can, because there's a lot of good horror that I want to talk about. And I'm very curious about Blink Twice. I've been hearing things. I haven't watched it yet, but I've been hearing things. So,
Yep, because I haven't heard anything about Blink Twice.
I've heard some things. I know Christian Slater's in it. That's the one thing I can tell you. I do know Christian Slater's in it, and I haven't seen him in anything in a while. I was like, oh God, Christian Slater, yay!
Marty, what's coming on the Trash Picture Show?
Well, first, Monty, I'm going to go online, order a shake weight and an ab roller.
You don't need to, darling. Your wit and scintillating
no, it's okay.
And beautiful accent.
Okay. I'll do some
Not
meth.
your
I'll
wonderful
hit the
penis.
gym.
Like you guys haven't seen it, but it's a beautiful penis.
No,
now I'm glad I'm not under Marty.
I get jealous. Don't worry, I hardly ever take it out of my mouth, Eric, except when I come on the street.
Monty,
Thanks for having me tonight, Monty. I appreciate it.
I know there goes my channel.
No, I got a figure review coming up. I think myself and Jen we'll see if we can cook up a trash fire. It's Jen's pick, so God help me. And I want to do a countdown of my top favorite PlayStation 1 games of all time. So,
very cool.
Okay. Well, like I said, my review of Deliverance is up on the channel right now. Hopefully, I'll get to see Afraid and put that up on the channel. And then after that, I'm trying to see if I get Strange Darling up next week. And of course, the video for the horror hangouts, I'm trying to hopefully get that done over the weekend as well. So that's coming up on my channel.
Monty, have you seen Strange Darling yet? Because I really want to, but that's another one on my list. Have you seen it?
Hopefully after I see Afraid, then I'll see Strange Darling. Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. I was curious about that one too. I've heard things about that, and I really want to see that too.
I see. Well, once again, I want to thank you guys for coming. Everybody in the chat, want to thank you for coming as well. Really enjoyed y'all coming here. And once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser, Monty G. And always remember that horror rules.
So does Marty's penis.
Ordering shake weight off eBay. Okay.
Abs.
You don't need to. Abs. Penis abs. If you can make your abs look like penises, that's even
8 minutes abs.
Stay safe, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I guess.